are out walking by my house. There's a trail here and I've actually never been here, so we decided to come. And oh, do you see my glasses? Oppa got them for me as a surprise from a place called Gentle Monster. They're nice glasses, I really like them. It was a nice surprise. I realized that I need some sort of good setup to keep my camera in the car and have everything in frame. So if you guys have a suggestion on how I can do that, let me know in the comments below, because I'm looking for a good way to do that. I am, I think, 6 weeks post-op. Can you tell my cheeks are still really puffy? But good news, it sounds like I don't have to come back and see this doctor until I get my braces off. So that's really exciting. And also when I went to the orthodontist appointment, originally that they had told me that I would still need my braces for about like a year. But it turns out, like, I can't even smile correctly yet, but my teeth are relatively in the correct place. So they just have to fine-tune everything, and I will get my braces off in 4 to 6 months. So I'm so excited. I cannot wait for that day. Hey everyone, I am just having a salad before heading out. I've been eating a lot of junk food because it's just easier, and I'm still really swollen, if you can see. Incredibly swollen. So, trying to eat a little bit healthier. That's actually one thing I'm thinking about trying, is like the whole keto diet. I know there's like a whole craze. And I was just like, oh, whatever, it's one of those like fad diets, and I know like people are going crazy over celery juice. Which is fine, but I firmly believe like there is an advantage of having a variety of foods and not going haywire and just, you know, heavily eating one food. Like, you know, for a while, like there was a whole craze with kale. Now it's moved on to celery, and I needed to buy some celery to put in my chicken soup, and they were sold out at Whole Foods at the grocery store. And it was so funny, like, you don't ever really see celery sold out, but now with like the whole juice craze, it seems like a lot of people are buying celery. Everyone, happy Monday. I'm off to work. So I don't know if you guys saw the footage right before this, but We did an adorable doggy meetup, and it's a Facebook group called Bellevue Fur Babies that I started, and it's so cute. So that was really exciting. There were quite a lot of dogs that showed up. Not as much as the first one for some reason. I think maybe, I don't know what it was. Maybe because we had like St. Patrick's Day, like kind of like that weekend. I don't know what it was. There were actually still a lot of dogs that came, and compared to the first one, like at our first meetup, there were about like 15 to 20 people that came, and then they all brought their dogs. And so it was a lot of dogs, and it was pretty hectic. My only complaint about that meetup was we met at the Bellevue Downtown Park, which is gorgeous, and that was where everyone voted on like meeting. But it's not an off-leash dog park. So everyone, I felt really bad. Everyone was kind of like holding on to their dogs pretty much, or had them on the leash, and like the dogs really wanted to play and like run around each other, but then the leashes would get caught up. So that's why for the second one, Brian and I were like, okay, we're gonna have it at a dog park that is fully enclosed and they can just run around freely. And this time around, it was so much better. All the dogs are having a great time. I actually got to talk with a lot more of the owners this time. It was just a good time overall. Next dog park, I don't know exactly where we're gonna meet. If you have any suggestions, like if you are like familiar with Seattle and the surrounding Seattle area and have any great recommendations of a dog park that is closed off, please let me know. I only know of like 1 or 2 that are really good. I did hear that there's a really good one in like Federal Way area, but that is a little bit farther for me. It's like what, with traffic, it can be almost like an hour away. I'm trying to start off my Mondays with this kind of more optimistic feeling and optimistic view of how, if you think about it, it's another week of work, another week of life, another week of opportunities. And if you always view Mondays as just sort of this constantly negative thing where you're starting off your week with a negative mindset, you're tackling your activities for that day with this negative mindset, like, oh my gosh, today's gonna suck. And it's kind of like waking up on the wrong side of the bed, but like all the time. So that was one thing I'm constantly trying to change about myself. I think growing up, I was always kind of a negative kid, and I found that being negative was physically and mentally and emotionally hard on myself. So after getting married, and especially getting to know Brian, who is a very highly optimistic person, like 99.9% of the time, it taught me to tackle on situations and relationships and everything with more of a positive mindset. So once I made that shift, I realized that my life got easier. Internally, I had more of this peace, like with myself and everyone around me. So yeah, so if you're constantly tackling your Mondays and be like, oh my gosh, Mondays suck, I hate Mondays, chances are it's not going to really change. But next Monday, or even whatever day it may be, tackle on these activities with a positive mindset, and you'll see a high shift, like a highly different shift in your perspective. Positive vibes until people can't drive, then positive vibes are gone like that. I am at one of my favorite places in downtown Kirkland. It's the waterfront area. I actually shot a wedding here and a wedding reception just right here, and the wedding was back there. There's a white building. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can zoom in. But that building right there is where we shot the wedding. And then everyone just kind of walked down and then enjoyed this gorgeous view from this little venue that's a covered area. So we had all these beautiful tables and flowers here. It was gorgeous. Anyways, I'm here to meet up with some fellow realtors, other board members of the Women's Council of Realtors. We're just going to check out not a venue, but some things for an event that's coming up. I think that people don't think I work. But I absolutely do, and I do take my work very seriously. So yeah, just gonna go meet up with them. I have to go find them actually, so. All right, here we go. It's a beautiful sunny day. I should probably put on my shades. Let me show you this view though. It's seriously so pretty. I of course had to get my Lady Yum macaroons. If you're ever in Kirkland area, they have the best macaroons. So I got honey lavender, unicorn, mint chocolate chip. I forget what this one was, and then the coconut. Toasted coconut is bomb diggity. Yeah, we're ready. 냄새 좋네. Hey guys, we're visiting, not visiting, we're babysitting Sydney, another French bulldog. And you've probably seen footage. And this is our second time babysitting her. And I just saw the toy that she brought, or Sola, her owner, brought. Do you guys see this? It's a little cow, but then it has these little like udders. It's so cute, and I feel like, oh, you know when they're like separated from their mom, maybe they might like having this, kind of like a binky almost. I know, right?